Morning Guitar. Today we are continuing our discussion about this combined technique of rest stroke with P and our free stroke with I, M, and A. We're going to look here at 46A. When we were talking about 46 in the previous video lesson, we were using just either I, either M, either A in combination with P. In 46A, we're going to go back to our regular alternating technique where we alternate between I and M or M and A. Like we would do with a melody, and then we're going to put that together with our rest stroke on P. So just like we did with 46A, what I want to do is I'm going to separate the two parts. I see that I have notes with down stems, those are played with P, and I have notes with up stems, those are going to be played alternating I and M or alternating I and M. What I want to do is learn each part individually first, and then I'm going to put them together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play through 46A, just the notes with the down stems. I see that these are half notes. Everything is in open position. Nothing new here, right? This is our same beginner, intermediate level style guitar thing. The new thing here obviously being the technique of how we're going to execute these notes. So I'm going to play through the down stems using P, rest stroke. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to play the melody alternating I and M, and then alternating M and A. And actually, a really good suggestion here is to try I and M or M and I, and then A and M, and then M and A. So we'll do all of those, starting here with just P in that rest stroke form. So here's 46A, playing it with P, rest stroke. Here it is. Then we go to the note E, and then note F, second line G, and then F, now A and B, C, I'm on the third line now. All right, and we should hear, it says 46 and then 46A. We should make the connection that these two exercises are, in fact, related. We see that with the notes that we just played with P. They are the same, and in the same order as the notes we played in 46. The difference now, instead of quarter notes, we heard them as half notes. I'm going to go through now 46A, and I'm going to do I and M. But notice that I'm doing these as free stroke. Okay, so this is an example. Not that they couldn't be played as rest stroke, but for the sake of learning this new technique, there might be instances where we need to do scale-wise or melodic motion in free stroke motion, and that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to go through this as I and M, then I'm going to go through it as M and A, then I'm going to go through it as A and M, and then I'm going to go through it as M and A, and I'm going to do that all in one passage, so it's going to be like taking 4 repeats, and I will move up the tempo just a little bit to do that. Okay, we see that each note kind of repeats 4 times. Actually, every note repeats 4 times in a row. So once we see the note the first time, it's that for the whole measure. All right, so here it is with I and M. Here it is. Now F and E and C and D, and then second line E, and then D and B. Now C, and then D, third line, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to start with M. I think I skipped ahead to the third line, but that's okay. On the third to last measure. Okay, and then we would do the same thing with M and A. 1, 2, here it is. Second line. And then we would do the same thing. We would start with A and then M. And so once you've gotten down that melody really with every note, every technique combination of I and M and I, M and A and M, that's when we're going to start going back and we're going to put those all together with the combination of doing P. Now, doing just rest stroke or just rest stroke with P and then just free stroke with I, they might not be as challenging as putting them together. So the real challenge is going to be putting them together, which is what we're going to do right now. And I think it's good to start with just the one. So I'm going to go through this just doing rest stroke with P and then the free stroke with I and M. Okay, and then once you get really comfortable with just that, then go back and start with M, then do the A and M or the M and A and so on and so forth, okay? So for the purposes of today's video, we're going to do just rest stroke with P and then free stroke with I and M. Okay, and then as you get comfortable with that, like I said, you'll go ahead and you'll do that with the other combinations of the finger techniques here to make sure that you have the whole well-rounded technique for every finger combination. Okay, so remember that again is free, rest stroke with P and at the same time free stroke with I and M. So it's going to look like that, okay? You got this camera angle down here for the picking hand and this camera up here for obviously where the fingers go. 1, 2, here it is. And I even lost track of it myself a little bit, so I will do a second pass through for you so we can make sure we have a nice clean take. This is the part that you would play along with. 1, 2, here it is. And then, of course, when you're done with that, you go back and you do the same thing now, starting with M. Oh, sorry. Now, when you get comfortable with that, you go back and do the same thing, and you start with, here we have A and then M, so you'll start with A. And when you get comfortable with that, you'll go back and you'll do the same thing. You'll start with M and then do M and A. And so on and so forth. Okay, but start with just P, I, and M. Make sure you get the technique nice and solid and strong before moving on to the next technique.